Video games, probably one of the most widespread forms of entertainment. I first got myself into the world of video games was when I heard a bunch of these game terminologies like b-hopping and camping. To many gamers, these words ring a bell. At the time, I had no idea what they were saying. There are many different kinds of games: RPGs, platformers, FPS, TPS, rhythm, horror, and etc. The one that I mostly play is FPS. I usually play FPS games competitively, and every time I get on to play, I get paired with teammates I couldn't work well with, and end up smashing my keyboard from watching their sick plays. After that, I've started to wonder about my well-being, and through some research, I've concluded there are pros and cons. You know, games may be good for helping you get a better reaction time and hand-to-eye coordination, but when we talk about games being good for your well-being, there are some outside variables that I have to take into account, like what kind of game it is and what age group that game goes in. Is it a violent game? Is it for ages of 18 or above? There are many other different factors to take in, like playing a cooperative game with people online are good for your well-being, but of course, when there are multiple people involved in the game, there are people who tend to blame their teammates for their lack of knowledge of the game. Have you ever heard of the term rage quitting? Being negative tends to give worse results in gameplay, and at its worst, it can cause rage quitting, which is where you come to a point being so incredibly frustrated that you just give up. But in the end, according to authors on the perspectives on psychological science, it mostly depends on a person's motivation and how they act and feel before they start gameplay. A large factor to take in is the difference between people who play casually and those who play competitively. According to Competitive and Professional Gaming, discussing potential benefits of scientific study, playing competitively will mostly have a negative effect on their well-being. Though it sort of depends on their performance in their competitive games, it leans more towards having a negative effect due to being competitive makes one take the game more seriously. And so a loss of a competitive game will make a person more frustrated than if they were to just play it casually. Also mentioning that many games seen in the competitive scene will come with a cost for losing and a reward for winning, like losing the chance to win in real cash or dropping with an in-game ranking system. These extra factors will induce stress. A person knowing that there's something on the line, whether it's money or even just a trophy, will make a person more stressed out. And when a person is stressed out, they tend to make more mistakes, which tends to cause one to lose the game and cause aggravation. Is excessive gameplay, also known as game addiction, affect their well-being? Well, according to Competitive and Professional Gaming, discussing potential benefits of scientific study again, excessive gameplay increases the risk for health problems, and those health problems can cause an increase in aggressive behavior. This addiction causes a person to become more serious in their gameplay, and the longer they are into it, the more susceptible to becoming competitive. As you know, being competitive makes you more susceptible to becoming frustrated, which is a negative effect on your well-being. The effect of video games on the well-being for women has more impact, though many women don't play genres or games that aggravates a person, and also the majority of people who play games are men, who plays a variety of games, including games whose main purpose is to make one aggravated. Things like rhythm and horror games are prime examples of negative impact on the well-being, due to rhythm games tending to be incredibly aggravating and tedious, and horror games keeping one in a state of uneasiness and cautiousness. All effects are negative to one's well-being. So overall, are games good for the well-being? Well, yes. The main purpose of games is to provide entertainment and satisfaction. And as long as you're in a state of being comfortable and having fun, then it's good for your well-being. You shouldn't force yourself to play games you don't like. If you're enjoying it, then change it. And play games with people online. From my personal experiences, I say it's one of the best things to do for your well-being. Though some games may be bad for the well-being, whether it's incredibly challenging or aggravating, or makes you cautious and uneasy, the feeling of accomplishing something hard is satisfying. And in the end, it completely comes down to the condition, person, and motivation. Not everyone is the same, so therefore, these factors need to be taken into consideration. Thank you, and keep on gaming.